Welcome to MarketTamer.com. We've had some questions about how to track down quarterly reports. So here we are on the SEC's website, sec.gov, and if you're looking to track down a symbol, the way you'll do it is go up to the right-hand corner here and enter search. Then you'll end up on this page where you'll enter the ticker symbol of interest. Let's just do Fannie Mae for right now. And we can see that all of the reports are listed here. We'd go to the 10Q, look at the documents, click on the document here, and up will pop the 10Q for Fannie Mae, the Federal National Mortgage Association. What's really interesting about this document right now and about the GSEs in general is that there's what I would describe as a virtuous cycle beginning here. And what I mean by that is if you look at this 10Q and you go through some of the details, what you'll find is Fannie Mae right now is operating at a deficit. And simply put, that means when their assets are below their liabilities, you'll find that the Treasury steps in and redeems them. So if we scan down here, let's just take a look at some of the causes for this, and an obvious one is the delinquency rate right now. We see that from 2008 through 2009, what they describe as a serious delinquency rate, which is down here calculated based on the number of conventional single-family loans that are 3 or more months past due, and loans that have been referred to foreclosure but not yet foreclosed upon, divided by the number of loans, etc., etc. What you can see, and if you certainly do feel free to read through this description, which goes on and on here with all the caveats, but what we find is the delinquency rate has increased. It was about 1.15% in Q1 of 2008, coming up to Q3 year to date in 2009. It's jumped up to about 4.72%, which in terms of percentage growth in delinquency rate, that's absolutely huge. What's really interesting when I refer to the virtuous cycle is that if we scan down here to the balance sheet, we find that we have assets decreasing slightly by 2.4%. We have liabilities decreasing by 2.4%. But of particular interest is the deficit. It's operating at a deficit of $15.1 billion as of September 30th, 2009. And so what happens is the Treasury steps in, makes them whole again, but there's a cost to that. And the covenant that has been agreed upon is that Fannie Mae must pay dividends of 10%. If it fails to do so, I believe there's a clause in here that ratchets that up to 12%. Given that the borrowings to date have already been in or around $60 billion, it means that Fannie Mae owes about $6 billion. And to put that into context, in the history of Fannie Mae's best years, only twice did it come close to that $6 billion per year earning figure. And as a result, it's almost guaranteed that given during its best years from 2000 to 2007, that it only twice eclipsed that level, that there's almost no chance that Fannie Mae can actually pay back the government, which means operationally it's being impaired by its requirement to pay back the government, which will necessitate that it borrow further from the government, which will in turn impair its operations and ability to pay back the government further. So a virtuous cycle, and you might describe it as a vicious cycle, has been created based on these covenants. And obviously, to an extent, they are political in nature. But because of those covenants, there's really very little hope for Fannie Mae coming back to any level of solvency anytime soon. Freddie Mac is in slightly better position. It's got a positive net worth, but its outlook looks increasingly poor as well. So if you have any questions on the fundamentals here, do feel free to ask us at MarketTamer.com. We'll look forward to seeing you there.